Hello! I would like to welcome all the listeners and thank you for tuning in to this Talk Ain't Cheap Radio. My name is Sean Ennis and today we have an amazing show for you. Just a reminder, if you've not already, please go to and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Ennis Productions. Ennis Productions is your source for music, business, motivation, and support. And we also have the Creative Collective series where we interview talented people and give them a chance to share their story. Now, rapper Young Thug and 12-year-old yodeling phenomenon Mason Ramsey might be the least likely duo ever to appear on a song together, but it's 2019 and anything goes this year. The pair recently joined forces on a new version of Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, which already boasted another left field feature on the earlier Smash remix, Billy Ray Cyrus. In light of the Young Thug / Ramsey team up, the Pop Shop podcast takes a look at some notable unlikely hit collaborations of the past, from David Bowie and Bing Crosby on Peace on Earth / Little Drummer Boy, to Mariah Carey and Old Dirty Bastard on Fantasy and beyond. In addition, the Pop Shop team of Keith and Katie dive into a discussion about two recent epic pop concerts they attended: Kylie Minogue on Edinburgh Castle in Edinburgh, Scotland, and Paul McCartney at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, respectively. Now, AWOL hires Bianca Bagger as Senior Vice President, Sync and Brand Partnerships. Based in AWOL's Los Angeles office, Baggett will oversee AWOL's global sync and brand partnership teams, pursuing creative marketing opportunity for the AWOL roster. Most recently with Glassnote leading the film and TV department and West Coast office, Baggett has worked on global marketing campaigns of artists such as Mumford & Sons, Childish Gambino, and Phoenix. She's also secured partnerships with leading brands including Apple and Adidas, TV shows including This Is Us and Girls, and video games such as FIFA, Mirror's Edge, and The Sims, and films including Disney and Tom Burton's Dumbo and Robert Zemeckis' Welcome to Marwen. Baggett was spotlighted in one of Billboard's 40's Under 40 Rising Stars in 2016 and selected for Billboard's Women in Music, the Most Powerful Executives in 2017. Alright, that's what I got for music news. Now let's get into some more music.
Yeah. To all the ladies, call me Mr. Wasney. Sweet J Music, Prime where you at? Are you ready? Are you ready now? I like your style, girl. Girl, the way you do your body, they kill me. Ooh, ooh. I like your style, girl. Girl, the way you do your body, they kill me. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, go into too many. Nobody will fuck no that you make her do my thing, girl. Girl, no too many. Nobody will fuck no that you make her do my thing, girl. She be fine, Belinda. Your priceless make me think like you be Rihanna. She be fine, Belinda. Your priceless make me think like you be Rihanna. Nobody in the media fair. The casa name ringtone there. The phone in the anthem I church me who wanna meet you when you die me there. They be too much. Nobody they killing me who wanna makuma me kukwache. Why you dada ima wood everybody wants Belinda. She find past Kitana. I just for real for her skelimba. Why you dada ima wood everybody wants Belinda. She find past Kitana. I just for real for her skelimba. You don't feel titi. Nobody go everywhere need titi. You shock like electricity, baby girl. Oh, you're dropping CCC. Hey, yeah, you don't feel titi. Nobody go everywhere need titi. shock like electricity. Baby girl, oh yeah, drop this, yeah, go in too many. Nobody will fuck no that, you make her do my thing, girl, no too many. Nobody will fuck no that, you make her do my thing, girl. She be fine, Belinda. Your priceless make me think like you be Rihanna. She be fine, Belinda. Your priceless make me think like you be Rihanna. Belinda, I'm loving the way that you limber. See ya ging dancing, now you wanna make me the ginger. See Belinda, I'm loving the way that you limber. See ya ging dancing, now you wanna make me the ginger. Baby, no, see I got the money, I got the power, I got the safer. Oh yes, I got the $50. I got the money, I got the power, I got the safer. Oh yes, I got the $20. So baby, no work, Rihanna. I can make you very popular than no summer. Never gonna hurt you, baby girl, never. Cause I believe in love karma. See my baby, Belinda, my lady, more than one for me, my baby, Belinda, my baby, Belinda, my lady, my baby, my lady. I like your style, girl, the way you do your body, they kill me, I like your style, girl, the way you do your body, they kill me, yeah, go into too many, nobody will fuck no that, you make her do my thing, girl, no too many, nobody will fuck no that, you make her do my thing, girl, she be fine, Belinda, your priceless make me think like you be Rihanna, she be fine, Belinda, your priceless make me think like you be Rihanna.
About you my heart is numb, 'cause the two souls laughing forever, dancing to the beat of a drum. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no one can take this love away. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no one can take this love away. You're my queen of space. 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 You're my queen of space.
Alright, welcome back. Now you know when you see a great performance when you see it, but what makes a performance great is never just one thing. Onlookers often know instinctively when they're witnessing a great live show. They may not be cognizant of the various elements that are coming together to create that unforgettable concert experience, but they can certainly feel it. The truth of the matter is that the majority of the best performances are planned out to the very last detail. This is a well-kept industry secret that many independent musicians either try to deny or aren't aware of. Naturally, how well an artist or band plays their music on stage will factor into how great their live performance is. However, unless the act is in a habit of recording live off the floor in the studio, their performance is bound to sound considerably different on stage. This is actually an opportunity in the right hands for the right musicians. A musician doesn't necessarily have to play the music perfectly on stage for the concert to be memorable. It's easy to forget that live performances add new layers to the musical experience. While listening to an album is mostly an auditory experience, by nature, fans have a chance to see, feel, touch, smell, taste, and hear at a concert. You've probably heard the expression, a bombardment of senses before, and that's quite literally what is supposed to happen at a live show. From the stage, props to lights and pyrotechnics, there are a variety of things that can really make a performance remarkable. To a degree, these visual elements are optional because you don't need them in order to have a great show, but they can serve to unify a crowd, give a sense of connection, and intensify the experience. When it comes right down to it, there are so many different ways to create a great concert experience. Make sure to see things from the perspective of your fans and not just from your own vantage point. So hopefully some of these suggestions, musicians, you'll be able to implement and add to your own live performance and start to develop a real killer show. Alright, let's get into some more music.
Yeah. You up and tell you that it's rich fella music. Fake smile.
Why y'all
Fake smile. They gon' build you up and tell you that. Tell you that. They gon' gossip when you're not around. Fake smiles. Show my hand and do the opposite. It's chestnut checkers. They can lie on you and slander you, but they can't break us. They gon' build you up and tell you that. Tell you that. They gon' gossip when you're not around. Fake smiles. Show my hand and do the opposite. It's chestnut checkers. They can lie on you and slander you, but they can't break us. You the type to say a killer and a thug can't go to college. I'm the type that gon' define our eyes and kick you with some knowledge. They gon' build you up and tear you down and hope that you start wildin'. What they didn't know, fear no evil, God right by my side. When shit got spiritual, got physical, I made it out alive. Come and get me, you gon' die tomorrow. You know I ain't lying. Y'all done said don't get involved, bro, just let me hunt them down. All my family know my enemies, we moving like the mobs. Sitting down at the round table, crossing people lie. Any, many, mighty, more on one hand, I know who gon' ride. up and tear you down, tear you down. They gon' gossip when you're not around. Fake smiles, show my hand and do the opposite. It's chestnut checkers. They can lie on you and slander you, but they can't break us. They gon' build you up and tear you down, tear you down. They gon' gossip when you're not around. Fake smiles, show my hand and do the opposite. It's chestnut checkers. They can lie on you and slander you, but they can't break us. Quit out that punk, faking fake smiling, just be real with me. Telling people you don't rock with me, but out on my IG, you ain't my competition. I'm just trying to be a better me. Put all my people in position, make that money grow on trees. I'm a rapper slash activist, I'm overborn a G. And I wrote my own blueprint, baby, ain't no other me. Feel they energy, they envy me, cause I'm in the major leagues. Rashido up the back, waited on my turn and now I'm free. I was asleep, now my third eye open, baby, I can see. And I'm giving out the game for free, but usually it's a fee. Yeah, I say usually it's a fee. And I'm giving out the game for free, cause baby, I can see. They gon' build you up and tear you down, tear you down. They gon' gossip when you're not around. Fake smiles, show my hand and do the opposite. It's chestnut checkers. They can lie on you and slander you, but they can't break us. They gon' build you up and tear you down, tear you down. They gon' gossip when you're not around. Fake smiles, show my hand and do the opposite. It's chestnut checkers. They can lie on you and slander you, but they can't break us. Yeah, Rashido, they gon' build you up and tear you down. I'm talking about. I'm fly than a pelican in super jet mode, sharper than a point on a set of elbows. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I'm reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I'm reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm climbing for the top, but don't forget where I'm from. When I couldn't pay for shit on time, but a man will never run. Done the work, reverse, I hurt and made a change. See, I seen it all before, now I'm in my own lane. Tour to get my mind right, I'm free up on the road, shaking hands with some folks, and I let my vibe flow. But I'm missing my fam, and yet I feel like I'm just playing into my destiny's hands. See, I be building it, working it, I'm just praying that it's worth it. Long as I'm happy with myself, then my life is truly perfect. Yeah, one time for the times that I felt lost. Yeah, 2 blunts for the fact that we never fucking fell off. Yeah, we live a wild life. Homeboy, chill, let me tell all. I'm Steph Curry, breaking ankles, never passing the ball. Nah, reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I'm reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I'm reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom.
Yeah, just touched down from overseas swagging. I'm never lacking with these dreams of going platinum. Call me international tone. Frisco to home, my city I've been trying to put on. Smoking backwards, I'm feeling with the Cali homegrown. I'm chopping these songs, a blessing like the Holy Quran. Spit lyrics on these songs, dropping atomic bombs. All day freaking long till the damn break of dawn. Hope, golden state of mind, push a hard line. On my off time, which doesn't exist, I'm always on my grind. I'm talking year round, 24/7. Let's just live forever, be the squad that I'm repping. Trying to get my music in your head like a century. You wanna see your dreams and you better get to stepping. All for the love, never did it just because. Sending praises up above, thanking God for this life that we love.
Reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I'm reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. Yeah, I'm reaching for the top, but I came from the bottom. You don't know what I'm talking about.
You got to sell yourself every day on your abilities, on what you do, on the goal that you want to reach. You got to sell yourself every day, according to your level of belief. It will manifest itself in what you're doing.
an info when I say screw it, focus, vision, turn on 100 miles, gunning per hour, devour these beats. Bitch, y'all be out here sleeping, losers being even. Here's a blanket for your nap when I'm winning. This is what I do, say up on the mood, I laugh into the bank, yeah, but I'm grinning. Okay, now I'm supposed to slow down. I switched up to stop like 3 times, worn out. Watch out, call that Minaj with this cannon's no Nicky, right? It's a kiss of that boy, I'm spitting leave like hickeys, bite. More smooches, I might hop, but who this? I don't know that ass. All the folks who didn't cut them, my show, they like put me in, sis. Hit the stage, I kill it. The ones that make their hands wave, get up on my tide. I'm the one who gonna make it say, I'm dead, one who can't be managed. All this work that you have seen, I'm the one who's riding. I'm the one who got that ass on the floor, I got it like that. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm the one they doubted. I'm the one who got the seed and I'm the one who sprouted. I'm the one who get the bag, only one who like it like that. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. You cannot walk in that. One who been my call, the moccasins that. Wills who get all the ills, the minutes, no dinners. My name and name out full, I toss like a dentist. All in they feelings, I am a god and I'm making my speeches, got pictures. Mona Lisa with the verse, what you created on that. Dope. All these bars, no soap. Starting to think this rappers pessimists, they got no hope. Folks talk big, but they all crash. Titanic, no flow. That is far from seeing my feel the beats and sidelines, what you trying to poke. Whoa, backpacks and notebooks, pens and some pencils. Hell yeah, my verse bang, my ink is black and blue. Punchlines pounding, headache, need aspirin. Heart attack on every rhyme, beats flatline them. My lines, killing them, deadlines, wordplay, bars, on time, deadline, follow me, wordsmith, jack of trades, Jonah trades, what I like to say, if you ain't catching that, you'll never be as dope as me. I'm dead. I'm dead. One who can't be managed. All this work that you have seen, I'm the one who's riding. I'm the one who got that ass on the floor, I got it like that. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm the one they doubted. I'm the one who got the seed and I'm the one who sprouted. I'm the one who get the bag, only one who rock it like that. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I got everything I need. I'm dead. I don't need anything. I'm dead. I'm the one that rides the street. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead to you. I'm dead. I got everything. Yeah. I'm dead. I don't need anything. I'm dead. I'm the one that rides the street. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. One who can't be managed. All this work that you have seen, I'm the one who's riding. I'm the one who got that ass on the floor, I got it like that. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm the one they doubted. I'm the one who got the seed and I'm the one who sprouted. I'm the one who get the bag, only one who rock it like that. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
All right, welcome back to This Talk Ain't Cheap Radio. And in this portion of the show, we'd like to welcome in a special guest. So why don't you share your name and what you're all about for the listeners?
My name is Jeremy Parsons, and I'm all about making music, pretty much, and that's what brought us together here on this wonderful show. I'm a singer-songwriter, living and writing and recording out of Nashville, Tennessee right now, but originally from San Antonio. I go back and forth, play shows in Texas, try to keep the home state fires burning, and I definitively, you could probably throw me under the Americana category. That's where I like to think of myself as an artist and a person who writes those type of songs, but a lot of people will call me a country singer too, so I'm not offended by either.
Now, how would you describe your music?
I would say it's I like to define myself anything under either Americana or singer-songwriter is also an acceptable genre in my opinion, because I feel like it just no offense, depending on whatever you might write as an artist or a singer or something, but there's a certain music and style that I'm drawn to, and that tends to be one that comes from more of a real place, and using music as therapy pretty much. I like the real stuff, whether it's heavy or uplifting, and I try to write and record the same style of stuff that I like listening to.
Now, what would you say makes you different from other artists?
I think I'm a self-taught guitar player. I'm pretty much self-taught everything, so I kind of figured out my own way to do things and developed my own sound and found myself musically within that journey. And I think that's the thing that separates me from a lot of people. Obviously, you learn so much from other people as you come up and grow up as an artist and a person. But it's, I think some of my favorite people that I feel have always stood out to me have been the ones that were just, that, you know, it was all them. Like they kind of just, they borrowed from people but manicured themselves, kind of. And I think a lot of standout comments I get is that I play guitar very unique, and my voice also is very different. And I'm blessed to be able to say that. There's most times I feel like it's about all I got going for me. So.
Now, what's most appealing? What's the most appealing thing to you about pursuing a music career?
I think I love doing this, man. I love making music. Music has always been the most consistent thing in my life, other than my father. But there's nothing else that makes me happier. And no offense to anyone I know, you know, who might listen to this and hear that, but it's always been there for me. It's always been a way that I've been able to deal with things and express myself. It's kind of just been my rock. I think I love doing it because it genuinely makes me happy, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
What are your music career goals?
I just do it till I die. I just want to make music until I die and be able to keep paying my rent and feeding the cats and putting gas in my truck and, you know, buying new guitar strings. I could be an opening act forever, honestly. It's just, I want to just keep doing it and saying that it's my, you know, my job.
So it's really all about the love for you.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would do something you hated. I realize we all got to do stuff we don't want to do, but if you had the option to do something you love, why wouldn't you just do it? There's a lot of things that stand in our way when we try to do this, and it's usually ourselves. My dad raised me. My dad did what he loved. My dad's in agriculture and horticulture, and he used to tell me, he was like, Jeremy, you find something you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life. And life in general is hard enough work. When you find that thing you love doing, it's a really obvious thing. Like, you don't need any persuasion to keep doing it usually, unless like everyone's in your face saying you're not good or you should give up or you're a quitter, like, you know, all the characters in some of the like Walk the Line movies and stuff like that. But that's just, you know, Hollywood being Hollywood. Like, there's usually people are pretty supportive because they didn't do the thing that you're doing themselves, and they have their regrets, and they're able to live vicariously through you. So I think it should always be about the love with honestly a lot of things, but talking about my careers, yeah, I do it because I love it. It is all about the love for me.
Now, what song or kind of music is your favorite to perform?
Man, I love playing. I started years ago doing the old stuff. And I say old stuff just to be more clear for you, is that like Hank Williams Sr., like the Ernest Tubbs, like everyone that pretty much my parents grew up listening to. So I love playing old school. I love playing my own original stuff, but when it comes to like, if someone's going to walk up to a stage that I'm playing on and request anything, I would always love to hear and play some Hank Williams Sr. music, like some Jambalaya or Hey Good Looking, or, you know, anything from that catalog. It's just so fun.
Now, what to you are the characteristics of great or groundbreaking music?
I think the stuff that stands out to me is the it's saying something. I mean, because there's so many things that, you know, we could touch on right now that could be so combative, whether it's political or religious or stuff. There's always, but if you're able to say something that's kind of like, it walks that perfect down the middle line of like, he's saying what everyone else has said, but he's making the point better. Like, it's saying that thing that no one could really ever say correctly. And then you hear him say it, and you're like, man, that's the most simplistic way I've ever heard anyone say that, but it makes the point perfectly. I think those are the ones that almost like enlighten people with the words that they've always heard. They just were hearing it the wrong way. I think that's the stuff that really is groundbreaking to me, when you're able to sway an audience that never really got it until you said it just like you just said it.
I completely agree. That's very well said and a great point.
Yeah, I mean that stuff always gets. It's almost, as a writer, I don't know if do you make music as well?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes I'll talk to people and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a musician as well," and I'm like, "Oh, sweet. Well, cool. You can relate on this thing." But it's like you hear songs like that and you're like, they said it so simple. And you're like, man, I probably said the exact words that he said like just 10 times in conversation. And like never thought to write it down. It's like, it's those songs as a songwriter, you're like, man, that goes on the list of songs we wish we'd written. That type of vibe. You get kind of like, it's a very respectful version of upset.
In addition, just as a music fan, I always find that songs that really capture a vibe or a mood are the songs that I generally connect with the most.
Oh yeah, they're like the let's see, they're like the definitive version of that, like that song. And those are the songs, like, now that you mention that, there's songs that'll come out like that and you'll see like a whole wave of the song, like it starts a trend. Like it happens I would say probably like every 6 to 12 years. Like Train was a great example. Like they're a pop group that were around in the early 90s and even the 80s, but when they came back in the 2000s with Hey Soul Sister, everyone started using ukulele and like producing their songs, and like they recorded it like in the midst of all the sunshine and ever. But it's like, you know, it's like this very like sweet kind of like cute vibe. It's like the trendsetter stuff. It's almost like the sound version of what we were talking about with the words. Like the impactful sound, it just like creates this wave of popularity.
Now this is a question I often ask musicians. What is your dream collaboration? If you could collaborate with any artist, alive or one who's passed on, who would it be and why?
Oh dang, man, that's the ultimate question. I love this one though, because I feel like if you asked me 5 years ago, it probably would have been different. But for the past, I'd say the past like 3 to 5 years, man, my easiest answer, like the first name that comes to mind whenever the question is asked, is John Prine. I love John Prine. I think he's like, I see him every time he comes to Nashville. I think I'm gonna miss him this New Year's because I'm not gonna be here. But he is one of my favorite songwriters of all time. It was like he was inspired by like Roger Miller and stuff like that. But he's this goofy, like adorable combination of just like sheer brilliance, and like he's able to. Like the example we used on like when someone says it's so perfect and you're like, man, I've never thought of that, or like I've said that a million times and never thought to write that song. He's the guy who always does that to me. He's probably the most consistent dude as far as like I'll hear a song and I'm like, dang it, that is amazing. You know, you're almost so mad but so like impressed. John Prine has consistently done that to me since the first time I heard it. And that would definitely be my dream collab. And he's still living too.
Now, can you share your social media links?
Yeah, there's the best place to go, I think, honestly, would be, and the easiest for me to spell out for y'all would be jeremyparsonsmusic.com. That has links to all my social media, and my Twitter is JM as in Minnie or Monkey or Montgomery, which is my middle name. So it's JM Parsons Music. That's my Twitter, and my Instagram is JM Pickinfool. That's Pickin without the G, Fool, FOOL. And Instagram is probably the best place to follow me, because that's the one I think I have the most fun with as far as editing and just being myself and being a goofball. I like to try to express, I try to make people smile as much as I can, even if it's at my own expense, because I feel like it's always just worth it.
Is there anything else you'd like to promote or share?
I have an album out. It's been out for, I guess, I think it's 2 years now, but I'm about to start working on a new one. So if anyone listening is interested in that, like, I would watch out for it probably. I'll be posting about it, of course, but I would say look out for it next year sometime. And I'm also going to be putting out the third single off the record that came out 2 years ago. It's called Making Things Up As I Go. It will be the final single. It's the third and final off that record, and a music video will come with it. And all that will be on my website at jeremyparsonsmusic.com and all over the socials and everywhere that it possibly could be. But look for that, I would say, within the next maybe couple weeks to a month. So it's going to be an exciting back end of the year, and I'll be down in Texas in July doing a month's worth of shows with a buddy of mine, Chad Bishop, and then I'll be back in Texas again in September. So if you're down in Texas, come see us.
All right, I'd like to give a very big thank you to my special guest for joining me today on This Talk Ain't Cheap Radio. Now let's get into some more music.
Dark road, and I guess with this shit I've been doing, I've been a dark soul. Yo, I ain't getting torn apart though. I'm as solid as a rock, cause I ain't soft in the middle. A man once said today's a good day to die. I look at the barrel of your pistol with the biggest smile. Too bad you ain't got the guts to let it go loud. Cause I was ready to get out of this cage I've been living in. Every day I've been breathing intoxicating oxygen. I can't believe some people still inside oblivion. The symbolism in their face is nothing to them. See, I don't recommend you try to defend the fact you pretend, cause I ain't bout it, homie. I don't respect the phony, faking this testimony, making me wanna blow like a bomb I explode. But I won't be the one to swim in the river below. There's a river below in the everyday life we live in. There's a man to follow for eternal life to be gifted. I will never let the devil in. I said I will never let the devil in. There's a river below in the everyday life we live in. There's a man to follow for eternal life to be gifted. I will never let the devil in. I said I will never let the devil in. Letting the devil in is basically surrendering. So I've been living off of my adrenaline, it's medicine. But if you ever go with Satan, you'll turn to a skeleton. Plus ain't nobody ever gonna say you was a gentleman. I've been living here for 6 years in Edmonton, seeing people turn from an angel straight to a demon, when all they ever seeking is that pure freedom. But it don't mean giving yourself as an agreement. How could that possibly be for a good reason? How could rap be helping me see another season? I collapsed, but only cause I was overheating. I'm walking down a block, scorched in flames. I think my train is off the tracks. I've been derailed, no time to waste. I pick the pain over the numbness on my chest. This'll put me on a new level for my distress, and it'll get me patiently battling for the best. For family, I want the bread. There's a river below in the everyday life we live in. There's a man to follow for eternal life to be gifted. I will never let the devil in. I said I will never let the devil in. There's a river below in the everyday life we live in. There's a man to follow for eternal life to be gifted. I will never let the devil in. I said I will never let the devil in. My flow fresh, I live in the spirit, no flesh. I'm so blessed that I could even go and kill death. Satan can suck my dick until I jizz a mess. I'm an Acadian legend, I ain't gon' disconnect. I ain't in blue, I ain't red, but I represent more than a thug and a crow. And I ain't dead, I'm a lone wolf hunting for prey until I'm fed. Predator coming at night, I was truly misled. You only know who I am when I lyrically kill a man. That wasn't the main plan, but I'm glad I overlapped it twice, so it ain't bad. I'm going back to the master plan to hit the top like I never been whacked. I got sunshine in the bag like gorillas had, and when you're smoking that, you lift it off the planet. But if you don't believe in what I'm saying, go and grab it and take a fat ass hit until you're levitating, kid.
There's a river below in the everyday life we live in. There's a man to follow for eternal life to be gifted. I will never let the devil in. I said I will never let the devil in. There's a river below in the everyday life we live in. There's a man to follow for eternal life to be gifted. I will never let the devil in. I said I will never let the devil in.
You don't fuck with my DJ, then I don't fuck with you.
K9 Productions.
Hold up. Slow that up, DJ. I gotta do this for my nigga DJ K9 Worldwide. K9 Worldwide. Flying fuck.
Came through flying straight through.
I'm not playing games with these niggas, no. I got hella aim, I could take your phone. I'm not playing games with your fuck who came with you. I ain't switch, I got the same bitch that I came with. You know you niggas can't hit, cause I'm too big. I know I never changed up, I had to think different. I try to tell them game, but these niggas don't listen. Came through your bitch, got ran through it, look like scandal. Busted all on her sandals, the nigga can't lose. Bitch, I feel like Rambo, I got the king too. Bitch, I feel you dirty and whoever made you. I love everybody, please don't think I hate you. I came through,
fly as fuck. Came through fly straight through. Came through fly straight through. I said I came through, and bitch I came through. Said I came through flying straight through. I said I came through flying straight through. Said I came through flying straight through. Yeah, I said I came through, and bitch we came through.
I ain't playing games with these niggas, no. You ain't even know that K9 been on go. And I keep that gas, fast food, petrol, good dro, and dough. Got your bitch in the house, in the road, look, we cool as cool. Name some other niggas you think cool as us, we walking through. Got your bitches texting saying pick me up, but I'm a buck. Got the recipe, they say I'm saucing up, they say we up, but they ain't never knew. I like to double up like damn, wait up, hold up, hoes. You don't know what I've been through, you don't know what my rent do, but you know why I walk through. Came through, bet you know why I walk through. Came through, hey, bet you know why I walk through. Woo!
I came through flying fuck. Came through flying straight through. Came through flying straight through. I said I came through, and bitch I came through. Said I came through flying straight through. I said I came through flying straight through. Said I came through flying straight through. I said I came through, and bitch we came through. Yeah.
Can't lose, I can't lose, yeah. Came through, can't lose, came through, can't lose, yeah.
Alright, I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. This has been another episode of This Talking Cheap Radio. If you have not already done so, please go to and subscribe to the channel. That is Ennis Productions on YouTube and Instagram. ENNIS Productions. Ennis Productions is your source for music, business, motivation, and support. And we also have the Creative Collective series, where we interview talented people and give them a chance to share their story. Now, if you're a musician looking to take your career to the next level, contact Ennis Management and get real help, real results in growing your personal brand with your audience, learning how to effectively promote and market your music using social media, learning the business side of the music industry and how to become your own booking agent. Contact ennisproductions@gmail.com. Ennis Management, empowering musicians through education. And if you would like to have your music played on This Talk Ain't Cheap Radio, simply email your music to ryancross020@gmail.com. That is ryancross020@gmail.com. Well, that's our show for today. We'll be back with another new episode tomorrow. I'm out.